Elena Ramirez pulled her beat-up sedan into the driveway of the 2-story townhouse on Maple Street. The engine sputtering to a halt, like it was as exhausted as she felt. Willow Creek wasn't much. A cluster of neat lawns and picket fences in the heart of Ohio, far from the chaotic buzz of Chicago, where she'd spent the last 5 years hustling as a freelance graphic designer. But the job offer from a small marketing firm here had been too good to pass up. Steady pay, creative freedom, and a chance to escape the city's relentless grind. At 25, she figured it was time to plant some roots, even if they were in soil that felt a bit too soft and unfamiliar. The townhouse itself was charming in a faded way, with ivy creeping up the brick facade and a small porch begging for a swing chair. It was a duplex, split down the middle, but her side felt spacious enough for two. Her new roommate, Sarah Klein, had already texted her the code for the front door. Sarah was a librarian at the local branch, mid-30s, with a calm vibe that Elena appreciated after dealing with flaky roommates in the past. They'd met online through a housing app, and Sarah's references checked out. No drama, just someone who paid bills on time and kept to herself. Elena hauled her boxes inside, the wooden floors creaking under her sneakers like they were whispering secrets. The living room opened up to a cozy kitchen with outdated cabinets, and upstairs were 2 bedrooms separated by a shared bathroom. Her room faced the backyard, which backed onto a wooded lot. Peaceful, she thought, compared to the alley views she'd had before. As she unpacked, stacking sketchbooks and her laptop on the desk by the window, she felt a flicker of optimism. This could work. No more sirens at night, just crickets, and maybe the occasional dog bark. That first evening, Sarah came home with takeout from a nearby diner. Burgers and fries, nothing fancy. They sat at the kitchen table, chatting easily. Sarah had lived there for a year, drawn by the low rent and short commute. The place has its quirks, she said with a shrug, dipping a fry in ketchup. The plumbing groans sometimes, and the attic access is in the hallway upstairs. Landlord says it's for storage, but I've never bothered with it. Too dusty. Elena nodded, wiping her hands on a napkin. Sounds fine. I'm just glad to have space to work without distractions. She mentioned her job starting Monday, designing logos for local businesses. Sarah smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners. You'll fit right in. Willow Creek's quiet, but it's got heart. As night fell, Elena settled into her room, the bed still smelling of fresh sheets. She scrolled through her phone, catching up on messages from old friends back in Chicago. Her brother, Carlos, had left a voicemail earlier, something about checking in, but she skipped it for now. Their relationship had been strained since their parents' divorce. He was always the protective one, but his warnings often felt like lectures. Around 10 p.m., as she dimmed the lights and plugged in her phone charger, a soft melody drifted through the air. It was faint, like old rock tunes from the 80s. Guitars strumming lazily, lyrics about lost highways. Elena paused, tilting her head. It wasn't coming from Sarah's room. Her door was closed, and the TV downstairs was off. Maybe a neighbor's radio? The houses were close enough that sounds could carry, especially with windows cracked open for the mild summer breeze. She brushed it off, slipping under the covers and starting a podcast to lull herself to sleep. Something light about design trends. But as her eyelids grew heavy, the music faded, replaced by a subtle scratching like nails on wood. It was rhythmic, almost deliberate, coming from above. The ceiling? No, higher. The attic, perhaps. Elena sat up, heart picking up a notch. houses settle, she reminded herself. Old beams contracting in the cool night air. Or maybe squirrels nesting up there. Nothing to worry about. Still, she got up, padding barefoot to the hallway. The attic hatch was a square panel in the ceiling, secured with a pull cord. She stared at it for a moment, the scratching now silent. Shaking her head, she returned to her room, but on the way, her foot caught on a loose floorboard near the baseboard. It wiggled under pressure. Curious, she knelt down and pried it up gently. Beneath was a small compartment, dusty and empty, except for an old brass key, tarnished with age. It didn't look like it fit any door in the house. Elena pocketed it, a chill running down her spine, despite the warm night. What was it for? And why hide it? She climbed back into bed, but sleep came fitfully, the silence now feeling too thick, too watchful. As dawn approached, she wondered if the sounds would return. And what else this quiet house might be hiding, Monday morning brought a rush of new beginnings. Elena arrived at the office of Creek Creative, a modest building downtown with exposed brick walls and plants hanging from every corner. Her boss, a cheerful woman named Linda, showed her to a desk overlooking the main street. "We're thrilled to have you," Linda said, handing over a stack of project briefs. "Start with the bakery logo, something fresh and inviting." It was there she met Mark Thompson, the lead copywriter. Tall with messy brown hair and an easy grin, he leaned over her desk during lunch break. "New in town?" Willow Creek can be a bit sleepy, but the coffee shop around the corner makes up for it. Want to grab a latte sometime? His eyes sparkled with genuine interest, and Elena found herself smiling back. "Sure, why not? I could use some local tips." Back at the townhouse that evening, Sarah was in the kitchen chopping vegetables for stir-fry. "How was day one?" she asked, sliding a plate toward Elena. "Promising?" Elena replied, digging in. "Met a cute co-worker." "But a house? Did you hear anything last night? Like scratching from upstairs?" Sarah paused, knife hovering. "The attic?" "Yeah, it's probably just the wind or animals. The previous tenant left in a hurry. Job transfer, I think. Never mentioned noises, though." Her tone was casual, but she avoided eye contact, busying herself with the stove. Elena let it drop, heading upstairs to work on sketches. But as the clock ticked past 11 p.m., the sounds returned. This time, not scratching, but tapping. Tap, tap, pause, tap, tap, tap. Like someone signaling. It echoed from the attic, persistent and unnerving. She tried ignoring it, blasting music through headphones, but curiosity won. Grabbing a flashlight from her bag, she pulled down the attic ladder, the hinges groaning in protest. The space was dim, filled with cobwebs and stacked boxes labeled in faded ink. Holiday decor, old books. Dust motes danced in the beam of her light. The tapping had stopped, but a faint glow emanated from a vent in the far wall, like a phone screen reflecting. Helena crept closer, heart pounding. Was that breathing? She peered through the slats, but saw only shadows. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. A call from Carlos. She answered, whispered, descending the ladder. "Elena, finally. Listen, I've been thinking about Mom's old stuff. You know, after the divorce, some papers went missing. Be careful who you trust out there. People watch, you know." His words sent a shiver through her. "What do you mean?" "It's fine here. Just keep an eye out." He hung up abruptly. Back in her room, Elena locked the door, but sleep evaded her. Then, through the quiet, she saw it. shadows shifting behind the bend in her own wall connected to the attic. Someone or something was up there, watching. The next day, at work, Elena couldn't shake the unease. She confided in Mark over coffee, keeping it light. "My place is creepy at night. Noises from the attic like someone's there." Mark frowned, stirring his latte. "Old houses, right? Want me to check it out? I'm handy with that stuff." "Maybe," she said, appreciating his concern. But back home, the tapping resumed earlier, around 9 p.m. Fed up, Elena grabbed a step stool and climbed into the attic again. This time, the glow was brighter, and voices murmured low. She froze as the space opened up. 3 men hunched over wires and gadgets, a portable speaker blaring classic rock anthems from the 70s. Tools scattered, screwdrivers, a laptop, coils of cable. They turned as one, faces illuminated by the screen light. The leader, a burly guy with a beard, straightened. "Whoa, miss, didn't expect company." Elena swallowed, gripping the flashlight like a weapon. "What are you doing here?" "This is private property." "Easy," said another, slimmer with glasses. "Landlord sent us. Upgrading the wiring, smart home stuff, better security." The third man, silent, fumbled a tool, and something fell. A small photo fluttering to the floor. Elena glimpsed her own face from her social media profile. Her blood ran cold. "I didn't authorize this," she stammered. "Get out." They exchanged glances, smirks playing on their lips. "Sure, kid. We'll wrap up soon." Their eyes lingered too long, assessing. She backed away, descending quickly. In her room, she checked her laptop. Files open that she hadn't touched. Had they hacked in? She texted Sarah. "Strangers in attic." "Call landlord?" Sarah replied late. "Must be a mix-up. I'll handle it." But then, a knock echoed from downstairs. The landlord, Mr. Hargrove, a grizzled man in his 60s. "Evening, Elena. Everything okay? Did you hire electricians for the attic?" she asked. He blinked. "No, Mom. Haven't touched that in years." Elena's stomach dropped. If not him, then who? Paranoia set in like fog. Elena ordered a wireless camera online, setting it up in the hallway aimed at the attic hatch. She dove into research, searching public records for the townhouse. Her article popped up. A break-in 2 years ago. Valuables stolen, tenants scared off. No arrests? Flashbacks hit her. Childhood in Chicago. Carlos always shielding her from their father's shady deals. Dad owed money. He'd said once, "Bad people watch for leverage." Was this connected? She shook it off, but doubt crept in. That night, the men didn't return audibly, but she found an earring on her dresser. Silver hoop, not hers. Sarah's? Or planted? Confronting Sarah. "Did you let people use the attic? For storage or something?" Sarah paled. "Okay, fine. Some old friends needed space for gear. Harmless." But it rang false. At work, Mark noticed her distraction. "You look spooked. Let me help." Impulsively, she accused him after seeing his car near her street. "Were you involved?" He looked hurt. "What?" "No. I was just driving by." Guilt washed over her, but that night, checking the camera feed, her heart stopped. A shadowy figure in her bedroom, standing over her bed while the timestamp showed her asleep. Elena video called Carlos, spilling everything. "These guys, it's like they're spying. And your warnings. Is this about Dad's debts?" He sighed. "Possibly. Identity thieves target families like ours. Stay alert." The pieces clicked. The wires, the photo, surveillance for scams. She spotted one man in the backyard that evening, bolting when she yelled. Giving chase, she twisted her ankle in the woods, losing him. Mark showed up unannounced. I couldn't stay away. Truth. I'm with a private investigation firm looking into local hacks. Your house fits the pattern. Trust fractured. She pushed him away. Sarah vanished that night. Note saying, sorry, had to go. Alone, Elena tore into the wall behind her desk, finding a tiny camera wired in, red light blinking. Her life broadcasted. Teaming uneasily with Mark, Elena lured the men back by faking a trip. They snuck in, but she and Mark ambushed them in the attic. A scuffle ensued, punches, wires snapping. The leader snarled, "Your brother's debts?" We collecting data now. Police arrived, arresting two, but the slim one escaped through a window. This isn't over, he yelled. Sarah returned, confessing blackmail. Carlos flew in, hugging Elena. We're safe now. But as she packed to move, a final tap echoed from the walls. Persistent, mocking, a storm raged as Elena decided to stay, reinforcing doors and changing locks. Digging deeper with Mark, they uncovered a neighborhood scam ring. The escaped man cornered her in the attic during the thunder, but she fought back, using the old key to lock a hidden compartment, trapping him until cops came. Trust rebuilt. Mark became a partner, Carlos mended ties. Yet, in quiet moments, Elena listened for echoes, knowing vigilance was her new normal. But empowerment bloomed. She was no longer just watching. She was ready.